Hey y'all, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Katrina and this is I am doing the last 10 book tag. I saw this on Scally Dandying about the books. The original tag is by Mark Nash, and I'll have both of those down in the information box. The questions are the last book you didn't finish, and that's The Ruins by Scott Smith, I believe. I I'm not sure if I put it in the DNF. I have two shelves where I put books that I'm not going to be reading right now. One is just a completely DNF one, and one is I will come back to it later. And I believe I put it in the I will come back to this later on Goodreads. What is the last book you reread? The last book I fully reread was Jane Eyre, I believe, and it was interesting. I read it over and over and over again as a kid, and I loved the book. And then this time I didn't have as great of great an opinion of the book. I liked the first part of it when it was just Jane, but when Rochester came into the scene, it wasn't as romantic as I remember it. He seemed kind of violent, and he seemed to like gaslight her and play weird games with her. And then it just totally went over my head that there was a whole wife up in the attic. And obviously this is a different time period and things like that, and so I'm judging it based on 21st century me reading this book. But just the treatment of this woman with the obvious mental illness, the fact that I didn't read Bertha as mixed race before, and I do now, and so I was like, okay, I just didn't enjoy this woman of color possibly being locked up in the attic and being treated that way. And so yeah, I enjoyed Jane as a young person, just being feisty and strong-willed, and did not enjoy her putting that to bed for Mr. Rochester, who had a whole woman, a whole human being up in the attic. It was a bizarre rereading for me. Number 3 is the last book you bought, and that is The Body Keeps the Score, Brain, Mind, and Body in the Healing of Trauma. My best friend and I are going to slow read this together. The last book you said you read but didn't, it's some book in high school, probably Beowulf or something like that. I don't even know. I didn't read Beowulf. I know that for a fact. So I read Middlemarch. I'm trying to think of all because I was in AP English, and so we did have to read all the highfalutin Western canon, but I definitely did not read Beowulf. What's the last book you wrote in the margins of? And that would be Song of Solomon. I opened the book up and the foreword got me. I was tearing up at Toni Morrison's foreword to her book. Her description of a father, it was so beautiful. I read it to my best friend. I made my husband read it. And I was just like, damn you, Toni, in the forward you got me crying. So yeah, that's that, and that's what I wrote in the margins of the book. What's the last book you had signed? I've never had a signed book. The last book you lost, we lost like half of our books in a terrible move about 4 years ago or so. When we moved down here, it was the worst. It was the first time dealing with a civilian moving company too. My husband got out of the military, so and we thought we were going we thought we would save money by doing the civilian thing, and it ended up being terrible. So anyway, so we lost literally about half of our books. The last book you had to replace, that's number 8. I would have to say Harry Potter. My older children read those books and read those books and read those books until they fell apart, and I'd have to replace them for them. And my daughter's doing the same things. I've bought probably the whole series twice for her physically, and now I just have been getting the, like, every other credit on Audible. I've just been getting the Audible ones so she can listen to them. Each of the kids have their own dot in their room, Echo Dot in their room, and they can listen to Audible books on there. And so she'll listen to, you know, a Harry Potter. She's going to sleep, or sometimes she'll bring the Echo into the kitchen when she's doing her chores and listen to the book. So at this point, I'm just getting them on audio, and then maybe once she's a little bit better at taking care of things, get a nice set of them for her, if she hasn't moved past those books the way I'm trying to get her to move past them. The last book you had an argument over, this answer will always be Game of Thrones. My husband and I argue on the regular about these books. I love the Starks. Like, we came at these books in totally different ways. He likes the political machinations. First of all, I hear people say machinations and machinations. Which one is right? Tell me down in the comment box. So machinations makes no sense to me, or it sounds better to me. So he likes the political machinations. He likes the war aspect of it and things like that. I like the magical aspect, but not the dragons. I like the Stark's version of magic, the three-eyed raven, the dreams, the psychic connection that the Stark kids have with their direwolves. I like knowing what's going on north of the wall and stuff like that, with the scary stuff coming. Then there's lots of arguments that we'll have, like we'll come across some kind of quiz or YouTube video talking about, I don't know, some kind of slander on one of the houses that we like or whatever, and we'll end up arguing over it. One thing that has brought us together is our hatred of Dan and Dave, the showrunners of the show, and how much they ruined that story. But other than that, like our most recent argument was who had the better redemption arc, and I thought Theon Greyjoy, and that's from the show really, and then he thought Jaime did, but it's because he is anything Lannister. He's for anything Lannister, and I think they are the worst family. I love the Starks. I love everything about the North, the Starks, everything. I'm trying to design the best tattoo that I want to get honoring them. So yeah, that was the last book, and it will be always the book that we argue over because that's just us. And number 10 is the last book you couldn't get a hold of, and that will have to be White Smoke. I wanted to get that arc, and I was very disappointed that NetGalley said no. So that's the last book I can get a hold of, and that is also the last answer in this tag. Use this emoji for the end of the video emoji for engagement. Otherwise, I tag anybody out there who wants to do this tag, and let me know some answers to the questions down in the question box, whatever, in the conversation box, if you don't want to do the tag, but you just want to converse with me on my answers down in the box. Also, let me know if you did it, and I will come and watch your video. Be easy on yourself, and I will see you in the next video.